When it comes to our movie heroes, there is only one movie hero that sticks out to me above the rest, and that is the character of Luke Skywalker, portrayed by Mark Hamill in the Star Wars movies. And to me, no one really comes close to him. He captivated me in 1977 and in 1983 in Return of the Jedi when I first saw Star Wars on screen. Luke was my hero as a little kid. Luke meant so much to me, and when they announced that Star Wars The Force Awakens was coming out, I was super excited. This was the first time that we were going to see Luke on screen since 1983. And when I walked out the theater of The Force Awakens, I was highly disappointed because we only got 30 seconds of Luke without a speaking role. So enter The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi comes out, and Luke is a shadow of his former self. Rian Johnson portrayed his character so much, Luke was unrecognizable. Mark Hamill voiced his displeasure with that, and I'm pretty sure that he voiced his displeasure in not having a speaking role in Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, directed by J.J. Abrams. Now he has come out and said now that he hopes that he is done with Star Wars. He has hoped that he is done with Luke Skywalker. How the mighty have fallen. But I can't blame Mark Hamill for feeling this way. For one, Disney has character assassinated Luke Skywalker beyond belief. They have turned the greatest movie hero of all time into someone that's unrecognizable. Mark Hamill knew it. We probably didn't listen to it at first, but we definitely saw it after The Last Jedi. Mark Hamill, I agree with him. I don't want to see him portray the character of Luke one more time after this movie, because I don't think Luke is going to have much of a role in Star Wars Episode 9. Even though they call this movie the Skywalker Saga, The Rise of Skywalker, and the main Skywalker probably won't have a big role. Yeah, he'll have more than what he did, I'm pretty sure, in The Force Awakens. But however, he will probably only be in about 2 scenes, maybe 3 if you're lucky. Because remember, J.J. Abrams is writing and directing this movie. This is the same J.J. Abrams that gave Luke 30 seconds of screen time. And if you're expecting more, you're going to be disappointed. Now, going into Star Wars Episode 9, Luke, it's not his story anymore. They've made that pretty clear with Mark Hamill. They made that pretty clear pretty much from the beginning. They want to use Luke to sell the movies, but they don't really want him around in the movies. That's a huge difference from the way George Lucas portrayed Luke. I can guarantee you, if George Lucas did not sell his company to Disney back in 2012, Luke would be the main character of this saga. Luke would be the Jedi Master that we wanted to see. Luke would still be alive going into Episode 9. As we already know, George did not intend to kill off Luke until the end of Episode 9, which would probably then usher in a new era of Star Wars. But Disney, Kathleen Kennedy, Lucasfilm, once they got their hands on Star Wars, they wanted him gone from the beginning. They didn't want George Lucas around. So in a sense, they killed off George Lucas because he was a part of the past. Luke Skywalker, they wanted him gone. They want to kill him off because he was a part of the past. They want to implement these new characters that we cannot be engaged with. They didn't respect the past, but yet they want us to respect these new characters. And that's not the way it works. When you think of Star Wars, You think of Anakin, you think of Vader, you think of Luke. Luke was our hero, and Luke was disrespected. Mark Hamill knows this, and he doesn't want to portray the character anymore. He says he hopes that he is done with this. And I can't blame him. I can't blame him. I can guarantee you, if George Lucas was still making Star Wars movies right now, Mark Hamill would probably never say these words, ever. For one thing, him and George Lucas are really close. Secondly, George Lucas respects the character of Luke. These are the characters that he created. Mark Hamill, I don't think would want to get away from Star Wars if George Lucas was running the show. But yet, George Lucas is not running the show. Mark Hamill has voiced his opinion and it's gone on deaf ears. Nobody listens to him. Kathleen Kennedy doesn't listen to him. J.J. Abrams doesn't listen to him. Rian Johnson definitely did not listen to him. Rian Johnson said he didn't care about what the fans wanted. They wanted to tell their story. And it came crashing down in the backlash of The Last Jedi, which led to Solo, a Star Wars story, losing money. That's the kind of damage, because the main problem with Star Wars The Last Jedi was Luke. And from changing that one character in that way caused a Star Wars movie to lose money at the box office. We used to think that Star Wars was like John Gotti. It was Teflon. Nothing could bring it down. They were wrong. We all were wrong, because I never saw a day when Star Wars would be in a position that it is in right now, where it is unpopular and other movie franchises seem to be on the rise more than Star Wars. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense whatsoever. Luke was our hero. Disney, you had one job: to preserve the legacy of George Lucas, to preserve the legacy of these characters that he created. And you have failed at both. You have failed at both. Kathleen Kennedy, George Lucas gave you his company, and you lied to him on TV, saying that you would respect these characters, preserve his legacy, and you have done neither. You've run this company into the ground, and now Mark Hamill wants nothing to do with it. We saw this coming a mile away. We really, really did see this coming a mile away. Star Wars is not Star Wars anymore. Lucasfilm is not Lucasfilm anymore. It's all about pushing political agendas, getting into identity politics. That's more important than preserving the legacy of Luke Skywalker, the greatest hero ever. That's what Lucasfilm thinks now. That's what Kathleen Kennedy thinks now. And this should not come as a surprise now that we think about it. Because they ran off George Lucas. If they can run off George Lucas, they can definitely run off Mark Hamill. They didn't respect their creator. Why should they respect the main character? So now, Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, Disney, you're in this position now. You better hope that Star Wars Episode 9 delivers the goods. You're bringing back Palpatine now. I don't think that was initially a part of the plan, but after The Last Jedi and Solo losing money, you needed to bring back a character that was very popular. And bringing back Palpatine was George Lucas's intention anyway for his version of Episode 9. But however, I don't think that was Disney's plan, as they threw out everything that George Lucas had intended for Star Wars Episode 9. But now they got into panic mode. That's the only reason why we're getting Palpatine in this movie. But yet, our hero Luke, he's going to be dead, he's going to be a Force ghost. The damage is done. It's irreparable to me. I don't know what they can do now to rectify this situation in one movie. Because really the damage started in Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, without Luke. They didn't want him around. They wanted to disrespect him in the next movie. And now, Mark Hamill wants out. So guys, let me know what you think about all this in the comments. If you're new here to the channel, please hit subscribe to catch future videos from me. And we will catch you on the next video. John Matrixx, out.